So, good afternoon, everyone. Actually, I think you could all come in the middle, then I don't have to look left and right, because not so many people. Today, I would like to give you an update about HRC, about our brand, but also about our initiatives and sustainable composite lightweight solutions for the future of the mobility sector. So I'm supposed to do this presentation with a colleague of mine. I have to apologize for him, so he cannot come due to some family issues, so I will tour you through the presentation. So basically, what I would love to do today is introduce you quickly the HRC company. I will not spend too much time on this, and then talk about today's challenges and how Composite can contribute to more sustainable mobility. We talk a little bit about current trends, what we see as a tier one company, what trends we are serving, what we are serving right now. We talk briefly about circular economy, and I will give you an outlook. And of course, if you have any questions, we can talk afterwards, or you are all welcome to come to Hall 6, G49, where our booth is located. So HRC was founded in the year 2014. We started with 50 people at that time. We have grown even due to the pandemic, or in the pandemic. We grow up to 800 people over the last 2.5 years. We are supplying parts to a global market, even though our production facility is located in China, in Jiangsu, which is about 70 kilometers away from Shanghai. And so far, we are the #1 carbon fiber supplier within the Chinese market. Over the years, we analyzed our business and we identified where we have weak spots. Some of them we did by increasing our own capabilities. Some of them we also helped by merger and acquisition. So right now you see this is our setup. The HRC brand is consisting out of 3 sub-brands. We have the ACTC, which stands for Advanced Composite Technology Center. We acquired a British company called Ingenuity, which is focused since 27 years on engineering and design. And we have the HRC brand, which is related to our mass production facilities in automotive, railway, and aviation. On a global perspective, you will find us for sure in China, where our major facility is, where 99% of the people are working. We have the engineering company in UK, which is near West Sussex, near Gatwick Airport, where we have a team of about 16 people who can do all the simulations, crash predictions, material characterizations, and so on. We have a small team in Augsburg near Munich, where we do all the administration stuff, the cooperation and the coordinations of our teamwork with institutes like Fraunhofer and also the ITA in Aachen. And we also have a small office in Spain, Barcelona. We started initially in the automotive industry, and we started as a classical tier one company. So all the components you see here on the screen is actually coming of our own production facility. We do aesthetic parts, interior parts, semi-structural, structural components, and we supply them for sure within the Chinese landscape, but we also deliver components to the US market, and we also deliver components to the European markets. And our approach sometimes can be a build-to-print approach if a client has already designed component, but we are also helping in regards to engineering and design if a client is not so familiar with composite engineering and design. I think one of a prominent example I am allowed to show with you is what you see here. That's the Polestar 1, where actually HRC was the sole supplier by the end of the project. And basically, we manufactured more than 62 components for that car, structural, semi-structural, visible carbon fiber, painted, and so on. So we supplied them and delivered at line to Volvo, to our end client. That was a quick introduction just to give you a background where we are coming from, what is our DNA. And I think now I would like to talk with you and maybe also have a chat later on about today's challenges and how Composite can contribute to a more sustainable mobility. So what we see in the market is the mobility sector is in a real rapid transition. So I think you will experience also if you go across the booth and you talk to different suppliers. We talk a lot about sustainability, electrifications, hydrogen, so you see different concepts. You see also in this regard a lot of new players, not only on the tier 1 side, but you also see new players coming as OEMs. So we also have to understand what is their different needs. We came across a lot of new mobility concepts, and we have to understand what is the challenge of this concept. How can we help? How is Composite an enabler for their future needs? And of course, we also develop new structural concepts to serve the demand, especially when we are talking about hydrogen vessels, when we are talking about battery compartments, and we have to take into consideration crash and so on. What I highlighted right now, on purpose to be quite honest, is that we see the world is a different place right now, so we all have to deal with logistic challenges. It's not anymore so easy to send parts from left to right. It takes more time, it gets more costly, so we also have to deal with this challenge in the world. A cost increase due to the simple increase of power cost right now. So you see carbon fiber prices going up again, which really doesn't help us to boost the composite industry. And of course, we hear, and I think if you run around with open ears during the first sessions and also during the day, there is a prognostic shortage of carbon fiber till 2025. So this leads to new approaches. So we need to identify what else can we do if the use of carbon fiber is maybe not possible due to economical reasons, or maybe not possible because we simply get no supply. So therefore, we also see a lot of new approaches in the market on recycling, so reuse of carbon fiber for secondary products, but also we see a lot of discussions coming back on natural fibers, on glass fibers. Of course, they don't have the same performance, but we need to understand where is the best use case for those parts. And also, if you watch the market right now in regards to the different mobility concepts you find, like the last mile delivery, the micro mobility, I think you see a lot of about the urban air mobilities. There's a lot of talk and there's a lot of need. We need to identify where we really have to do and where we really can bring carbon fiber to really be suitable for the performance. But there is a lot of task in front of us to deal with composites for new markets. And we already discussed this internally, and based on our experience and based on our know-how, we identified that maybe in passenger cars, as the volume will still be very high, we see very cost-sensitive technologies being implemented and will be further implemented, like glass fiber PP, like glass fiber UP, injection and compression molding processes. While in luxury cars, and this segment I have to say is growing again quite rapidly, we see a lot of high performance parts and high performance materials. So we see a lot of RTM and Prepreg applications coming to us. Last mile delivery, micromobility, seeing our experience and seeing our discussions with our clients, we have to find solutions which really deals with the complex design of the parts, because they really need to design the components, the cars, in a way that they have the maximum space to deliver components, but also address the maximum safety for the driver. And of course, the new market, which is urban air mobility and the aerospace market. It has, the market was going down the last years, but we see an upward trend. So we also need to understand what technologies we can promote and what technologies would suit that market the most. When we talk about urban air mobility, we say composites enabling new solutions in this market sector, and I think we heard a lot about it. You get different market reports, you get different numbers. I mean, they all can be right, they all can be wrong in a way, but one thing is for sure, this market is coming. And this market is growing, and the demand is growing, and there are new companies coming, and they have challenges because they really need lightweight. They really need the performance of the part. They need a structural performance. So we need to analyze that market. We need to analyze the numbers and discuss with the clients together how we can serve that market need. And it offers also a lot of potentials. I mean, we see, for example, the growth potential in commercial drone market. I mean, it's tremendous. And there are many new players coming and developing delivery drones. We have a great diversity in the market all of a sudden. We get air taxis, transportation drones, passenger drones, and so on and so on. And of course, I think if we all realized that there is a lot of money from governments coming to develop new solutions, new technologies, to find out also new materials to suit that market. And this is not just a vision where we think this will come and this is possible and this is something we are talking out of the air. I mean, we developed a drone together with our customer in China. It's the company XPeng. We did the X2 project and we developed a passenger drone within 3 months, which was consisting out of 100 components. So from scratch till the flying drone, it took us 3 months, including all the engineering. We did all the tooling, we selected the right material. We even made the interior for that one to make it feasible. So, and this shows there is potential. Of course, you need to analyze what your customer is demanding, and you also need to be open for new approaches. What we need to do and what we need to help our clients is we should not only push for technologies we maybe have right now in-house because they could be wrong. So we really need to have an open dialogue with our clients and identify the right technology and work with them in a really open book approach. And that's what we did for this project, and that's why we became also successful in this market. Another very, very hot topic is the hydrogen economy. I mean, you can see it, I think, here on the show. You see a lot of pressure vessels standing around. You see a lot of approaches on valves and how you can integrate them into your vehicle logistic and how you deal with crash. So we also started this journey, and we actually started this journey, I would say, 2 years ago at our ACTC, at our Advanced Composite Technology Center, which is an 8,000 square meter technology center, an open platform where customer can come, and together we are developing the next technologies and the next components. So basically, if you go into the hydrogen market, I think you have to identify for yourself as a supplier, as a material company, where in the value chain you want to position yourself. So do you want to be upfront in the green hydrogen topic? Then we talk about big windmills. We talk about huge composite blades, 70, 80, 90 meter reinforced with carbon fiber. Or do you want to be involved in the piping, where you also need to pipe the hydrogen under a certain pressure? So for you as a company, for your future, you need to identify what you want to do in the future. We actually did it, and for ourselves, we will look mainly into the transportation sector. That means we will focus on the development of 750 bar pressure vessels and 350 bar pressure vessels. And our first focus will be the Chinese market, as we are located there and is as there are also right now ongoing developments for the standards down there, and I think the standard will be ready by the end of the year. So we will develop a pressure vessel type 4 which meets the future Chinese standard, but also the European standards right now. And if you want to discuss this further, we can go in detail, because you need to understand, are you focusing more on the physical storage or the material-based storage? We as HRC, our focus is purely on compressed gas, so on the physical storage of the hydrogen. And there we will focus on the pressure vessel type 4, where we deal basically in between 350 to 700 bars. And our focus for the Chinese market is a bit easier, because the Chinese government already announced that the pressure vessel and the hydrogen drive will be used in local transportations, in light trucks, in planes and in trains, and not so much in passenger cars. So we have exactly our focus, what we need to develop and where we need to go in. And so therefore we go with the type 4 pressure vessels. And as usually in composite, you can't do it alone. So you need strong partners. So we are doing most of our development right now with the Textile Institute in Aachen, where we do a little bit on the material side. And also we signed a cooperation agreement with the company Voss Hydraulic. They are making hydraulic components. They are making specific valves to fill and refill the hydrogen compartments. And with this partnership, we are really enabling ourselves to bring a solution to the market which is, from a performance point of view, optimized, but we also want to bring a cost-optimized component to the market. Basically, this will be the image of a pressure vessel, how we will work with, how we also separate the working groups and what is the different responsibilities within the working groups. But we all have the common goal. By latest next year, we will have a Type 4 certified pressure vessel up to 750 bar. And if you want to have a closer and a more intense dialogue on the pressure vessel topic, I invite you to our booth. We have colleagues from Voss there, we have our team there, so we would be really open to share and discuss everything with you in regards to this topic. And also, in order to boost our own development in-house, we just recently installed, I think a couple of months ago, an filament winding equipment from the company Rode. And this equipment is really a line which offers a lot of potential. I mean, we can go up to 6 meters in length on pressure vessels, and we can go up to a diameter of 1 meter. So we can really develop according to the needs of the different market segments, as explained previously. So basically, by using all those carbon fibers for pressure vessel, and you have to keep in mind, just to give you some numbers, the Chinese government announced that in the year 2030, they want to have 1 million cars on the road with a hydrogen drive. And if you calculate that you need approx 2 to 3 vessels per car, and each vessel will have around 25 to 28 kilogram carbon fiber, you can understand how much carbon fiber will be used in the future, and also what are you doing with all this carbon fiber when you maybe not allowed to use this pressure vessel anymore. So therefore you need to start working on the circular economy, you need to start working on recycling. So basically, we have analyzed different recycling routes, and I mean, sustainability, of course, there offers some changes. We need to do some changes. We have some chances as well, and we have some challenges when we reuse recycled carbon fiber. So what we need to see, we need to, first of all, understand the mechanical properties with secondary fibers. And this is something we do with our engineering company in UK. They developed a new software called FIRMA, Failure in Random Material Architectures. So we have the potential to analyze those materials and to sign the part according to the actual values. We also, the use of recycled carbon fiber in high quality series applications is possible. We are doing this. We are doing this right now. But if we focus more on the challenges because of the time we have left, is the heterogeneity of the fiber lengths, mechanical properties, and what is the sizing remaining on the fiber. Also, we need to understand, we need to design and select the technologies fiber friendly, so we have a gentle process, and we not also disturb the performance of the fibers due to the recycling concept we are using later on. So basically, by analyzing this, our route was very clear. We installed last year a microwave pyrolysis line in our facility, which has a capacity up to 50,000 tons. The cycle time typically takes around 10 minutes, but I have the team back in the booth if you want to have more information about this. What we realized in the last months is when we did the recycling in-house, so the carbon fiber strength sustained 90% and the modulus sustains 95% in the way we did it. So there is a potential to reuse these fibers really also in semi-structural components. And of course, one of the biggest advantages, the lower cost. It's about 1/3 of the virgin carbon fiber we are basically using for new components. So here you see our line. At present, we are using this line only for our own waste. So all the waste we generate in our facility by cutting components, by cutting RTM parts, by cutting Prepreg parts to bring them into the final shape. We put those things into our recycling line in order to get the neat fiber. And then what you need to understand is what can you do with this neat fiber? And even there you have different approaches. You can make a fabric out of it, non-woven. You can even make an SMC Prepreg. And I think there is one huge advantage we have. In our ACTC Tech Center, we have a Schmidt and Heinzmann SMC line, which can go up to a width of 1.6 meter and to a speed of 12 meters per minute. So we can make out of the recycled fiber a secondary SMC material and reuse this maybe for aesthetic parts or secondary structures. We also look with the recycling material into new markets. What you see here, that was a demonstration part for formworks, where it's all made out of SMC, and this formwork plates, which you need in the concrete business to make your walls, to cast the concrete in, you can reuse up to 100 times. This is our experience right now, and we are looking also into other technologies, other markets, to really reuse our carbon fiber again. So basically, as an outlook and a summary of the last 25 minutes, lightweightening is crucial to reduce CO2 emissions. We see it in the day-to-day business. Technical feasibility for recycling of fiber-reinforced plastic and carbon fiber is verified in different routes. And I have to say, we can engineer with recycled fibers and we can design with recycled fibers. And we as HRC, we can offer you a holistic approach from the idea to the recycling and the reuse. Whatever you need, we can support you by all means. So thank you very much for your attention. If you have any question, please feel free. If not, be our guest at the booth.